Good morning, everyone. So it's still early morning, you know. It's only 10 in the morning. I've already been riding, you know. I don't know, about 20 minutes, you know. I normally don't do videos this early, but, you know, I'm still in my neighborhood and I'm on my way to, supposedly there's some trails in Southfield, towards like Bloomfield Hills, Franklin area. And it's, every time I've gone over there, most of the time the reason why I even go over there is for the cider mill. If you're ever in Detroit, Michigan metro area, like northwest area, like 8 Mile, you go north down Telegraph towards Bloomfield Hills, you go towards the left, west, once you get to the road you need to get to, and go to Franklin Cider Mill. And the reason why I say go to that one is, you know, we got a lot of cider mills in Apples. You know, I've been studying the earth and, you know, food and plants, and Michigan's a really big producer of apples, surprisingly. I was surprised at how much we produce. It really blew my mind. But the reason why I say go to that cider mill is because it's the oldest one around this area. It's the nicest. And they got like the old wheel that spins, the water spins it, you know, and it still runs the 100, 200 year old machine that presses the apples. So that also means that the apple juice isn't pasteurized, you know. So if the apples are diseased or anything like that, you get sick, you know, and there's labels on that warn you about that. That's why they used to heat it up back in the day. That's why they have hot cider, really, you know. They knew to heat it up, you know, don't kill the bacteria, you know. And I've brewed, you know, I brewed a lot of alcohol in the joint, you know, and I brewed it before I even went home, like before I even went there. You know, my dad's friend used to brew his own alcohol, his own beer, and it's really not hard. You know, from my experience, if you really shouldn't even tell people this, but you know, it's chemical reactions too. You know, people need to know this stuff. You know, understand how this stuff works. So. Because it isn't just like how alcohol, you know, batteries work in the same way in a sense, you know. But you take just orange juice, man, orange juice, just simple orange juice, concentrate, and sugar and heat. And then you just keep a little bit from after the first batch, it takes a minute, but you keep a little bit left over. And use that for the next batch, and it, you know, it goes quicker and quicker, and you know, it gets more potent too. You know, I got a lot of stories about that, you know, making, you know, spud juice or, you know, liquor in the joint. And I've seen dumb shit too, people adding dumb shit to it, you know. They'll put, I'm serious, man, people will put, there's predators out there, man, fucking the game bangers and shit will put fucking Seroquel in the fucking alcohol and shit, man, and, you know, get people fucked up, you know, on purpose, and, you know, rob them and shit, you know. You know, we can go to extremes if we want to, but I'm not going to. But another reason why I wanted to come do a video now is the neighborhood, you know. I'm a really big history person, and my neighborhood, man, it's a rundown neighborhood, but it's so beautiful in so many ways, you know. Like, so this is Brightmoor, man, and you know, my family owned a collision shop over here when they came over here from Poland on my real dad's side, the one I haven't seen in, you know, over a decade, you know, over a decade now, and I haven't seen him since 07, 08, you know, 17, 16, you know. But I'm taking you through yours. One, it's part of my history. Two, people don't know this stuff, you know, they don't live here. You know, there's other places doing it, you know, but I don't know, you know, they're not riding around on a bike like me, man. They're not, you know, they're not personable, you know, they're not speaking about Jesus. They're not about to travel the world and go on a sailboat, you know. I got a lot going on for this channel, and it's really hard to figure out what it is that I want to do each day, you know. And, you know, and some days I have more money than others, and so it's complicated, you know. But I enjoy it. You know, I gotta get groceries today. Again, all those groceries. Well, I got cereal and milk, but I only got bread. And I'm burnt out on cereal, milk, and bread. Even though those are the main things I live off of. It's gonna be hard to store a lot of milk on the boat, you know. I've been trying to get used to not drinking so much milk. But I'm gonna bring a lot of powdered milk, dry milk, you know. That's good stuff to bring in a sailboat. You know, like, if you got dry milk in a sailboat, you're living large, you know. You know, and like, I'm kind of happy I did this prison time, because, you know, when I went to prison the third time, and even before that, you know, I always wanted to sail, and, you know, even the first time, I tried to discipline myself, you know. It's hard to do all that stuff. You know, and jobs too, you know, all the jobs I've had. So, but I'm gonna take you guys through the hood, man, and, yeah. So this is Brightmoor. I'm not gonna take you through all of it, obviously. I'm just gonna take you basically through my family's street. Really, well, not my. See, I had two sides of the family. That's the thing that lived over here. You know, I got my mom's side, my dad's side. Right now, I guess we'll just talk about my dad's side. The one that's, you know, in Poland, and they sold the building. It kind of hurt, because, you know, got a lot of memories there, you know, and I believe that they would have kept it, you know what I mean, if my real dad didn't go back to Poland, you know, and that's how I feel, and, you know, and all the stuff that hurt, and how the family's broken up and stuff, and, you know, and the family bickering about money, you know, and the house that they live in, you know, the house that they live in is beautiful. It's a duplex home, you know, and they are like a family flat, and they own the whole thing. You know, they own the whole thing, you know, it's got 2 apartments upstairs, and, you know, it's got the first floor and second floor, and they want to sell it and move out to the country, and I understand it, you know, why they want to do it, and it's kind of fucking me up, because I want the house. I'm thinking about buying it. And the thing with those houses over there, it hurts sometimes. The Arabics will buy the houses over there. They'll tear them down. Serious, a perfectly good, fine house. They'll just tear it down, and they'll build this big palace on the lot. And like, there won't be no property at all. It'll just be a house, and with a garage, and then they don't even use the garage for the garage. They'll put like a glass door up, and so everybody can see how rich they are, and then put like chandeliers and, you know, really expensive couches and hookahs and stuff. That's just how they are, and I get it, you know, they're really family oriented. I kind of always used to be jealous, envious of it, kind of, because my family's so broken. I always see their family together, you know. That's one thing about Arabics too, you know. You fight one, you fight 10 of them. It's because they're family oriented, man. Their culture, I love it. So I take a lot of effort to learn different languages, and, you know, and I'm Polish as well. You know, my family speaks Polish. My grandma yells at me, you know, hits me upside my head. She's call me a dupaya, you know, tell me I'm a dumbass, which I am. I think we all are. But here, yeah, see, this is called Ridge Road. It follows the river that I grew up on. They used to have trails. See, they still do. But not like they did back in the day. Kids don't build ramps like they do anymore. That's another thing. I went to a lot of spots, you know, that I knew growing up, and they're not there no more, you know. So, you know, I'm finding all these new spots and stuff. You know, it's, like I said, I use the internet. You know, and there's still some of the spots I go to. You know, I still know a lot of stuff. I still know a bunch of spots. But, you know, I travel. I want to experience new things. But, yeah, now I'm going to head to the river, to the collision shop that my uncle's owned. The person that owns it, actually, it's funny how people lie. My uncle's shop, my family's shop, it used to be a Honda shop in the 80s. They used to sell like Honda mopeds. See, there's a buzzard, you know, out here, you know. There's so much. Like, that thing's crazy. It was just eating the dead animal, you know. It smells so bad. But there's a lot of animals over here because the city, see how like it's so empty? You know, all these houses this place was filled up back in the 50s and before that, and it's so fucked up, you know. And even my day in the 90s growing up, it was rough, man. It still is, you know. If you're over here, like, if you're white, you're either crazy or you're getting drugs. You live here, there are a lot of white still here, a lot of white people still here, surprisingly. Because it's cheap to live, you know. And look at that house. See how nice it is, right? You know, and then you look next door and it's, you know, it's just field, you know. That's why the deer have become so complacent here, you know. They're just used to the traffic. And people fucking fly through here. I mean, I do it, you know. I used to do it. I don't speed no more, man. I don't put myself and people at risk anymore. I just don't. There's no reason to. See, like, all this property? Look, see this guy? That's what they do over here, is like, because a lot of people dump garbage. That's what Brightmoor is known for, dump. They call it a dumpster, really. It's not as bad as Rouge area. Rouge stinks. Because you got all the factories there and stuff, and all the smelting, processing going on, and, you know, you got a salt mine over there too, and a lot of, they're the stuff they're getting from the earth. And see, look, you know, I know a lot of still people over here, actually. You might run into somebody I know. It might not be a good thing if run into somebody I don't need to run into. I'm not worried about all that, though. I'm not. People in Detroit they just carry on. If they see something most of the time, man, most people, they don't get in other people's bullshit, man. They know better. They got their own problems going on already anyways, you know? Why do they want to go stick their nose in some other bullshit? Doesn't make any sense. Make it make sense, you know? But see, it's just like any other hood, you know? And I'm going to document a lot of that, you know? I'm going to try to find people that, you know, are, you know, from that neighborhood. But I'm also, you know, I know, like I said, there's other people doing it, but they're not like me. They're not, you know, they're not doing it for the different, you know, I'm doing it for different reasons. And I'm going to be traveling the world too, and I have a lot of culture, you know, behind me, and, you know, and I've been in trouble too, and, I speak in a way that's more genuine than most people that I watch on YouTube, or, you know what I mean? Like, you can tell that they weren't about that life, you know what I mean? So it makes it awkward for, you know, for the people that you're interviewing, you know, because they don't want to open up. And there's some good interviewers out there. There's a few that impress me. I'll eventually, you know, share my opinions about people. But I don't want to do that just yet, because, you know, that's not what the channel's about. People will take it the wrong way. They'll take it as me, you know, taking and speaking down on nobody when I'm not. I'm, you know, just criticizing in a thoughtful manner, you know. I never tell anybody anything anymore, or even before, you know, that, you know, wasn't beneficial. Nobody just fucking listens to me. So, yeah, there's more houses. This guy, I've never seen that before. They just put plexiglass over it. That kind of makes sense. You see if there's people in there. Huh? I've never seen that before. That's weird. I don't even like coming through here. A lot of memories, man. A lot of bullshit, too. Good memories, bad memories. My uncle actually used to, the building's coming up. My uncle grew up and, you know, he's older, you know, and he was from Poland, and they didn't have TVs back then, you know, back there around. And my uncle said that they were the only one that had a wheel that grinded flour when he was growing up, and they were the only ones that had a black and white TV in the neighborhood, in the village, you know. And everybody would come over, like all the families would sit in front of the TV. Kind of crazy to me. But he had pigeons over here at this building, right here to the right. You know, both of them. My family owned both on my Polish side. And, you know, the guy's there now. But, yeah, it's crazy how, see there, and I was gonna think about talking to him. I already talked to him once. And it's funny how the people, my uncle sold this place, both of them. And people lie. It's funny how he told me. He's like, yeah. He's like, you know, the people that were here, you know, they're biker guys. The guys I bought it from are biker dudes, you know, like really hard ass dudes, you know. You know, and he's a Mexican, like half black, Mexican, white, whatever, mixed guy, you know. I'm like, yeah. Well, that's crazy, you know. I was like, that's crazy. My uncle's owned that building, you know. I grew up in that building. He's like, oh yeah? I'm like, yeah, it used to be a Honda shop in the 80s, you know. And my uncle's owned it all the way up until recently, you know. Which is funny, my grandma helped me out. A lot of the money helped me get out of, you know, my lawyer the first time. Stupid me. You know, they took out a loan for me to get me out of trouble, man. You know, and here I am fucking getting in trouble again, you know. You know, it was really bad, man. I felt bad. I felt terrible. Another reason why I work so hard. You know, my grandma's, I wanted to make sure my grandma knew that, you know, I was her first grandson when they came over here, and, you know, it hurt me. It's actually kind of nice. They got like it's kind of cool. It's like a slide with that's cool. But that's sweet. See that black lady? Just staring at me like I'm not supposed to be here. Which I'm not, in a sense. Because, you know, they know if white people are here, they're either one, you know, they're usually drugged out, you know what I mean? People don't got no money, you know, neither do they. You know, if she had money, she wouldn't be up in here. You know? There ain't nothing here. But, yeah, I was thinking about buying that building back, you know? It's, because Brightmoor's kind of coming back. You know, the city, you know, the riots happened, you know, and it was a bad thing, but, you know, that was so long ago, you know, and things change, you know, people change. It'll take some time, you know, but, you know, and I gotta remember too, a lot of these lots, people don't understand. Yeah, all these lots, right, and people don't think, man, you got all those people that migrated, right, all those families that migrated, right, they didn't care about the property anymore, you know, and a lot of them got burnt down, you know, and they just let it go, you know, so the banks owned it, and you know what I mean, and maybe they already had it paid off, you know, and they just didn't care, you know, and, you know, they moved on. A lot of this stuff, you know, the city's gotta get the information, you know what I mean, figure out who owned it before, you know what I mean, and, you know, reclaim it, you know what I mean, and get it, you know, it's gotta be documented and all that stuff. That's why they have public records. And, you know, if you look up, like, how the Detroit city was made, you know, I've always used to, Detroit train station, that was another place I was gonna take you guys, but, you know, they've always talked about rebuilding, and they finally are. And I used to go in there, and spray paint, and I can't do that no more. But I'm happy to restart. They're fixing it. And the people that did the Grand Central Station in New York, if you look it up, the information on the internet, it says, it's kind of funny. It says that they wanted Detroit, whoever was paying for it, wanted, the original guys to do it, one guy to do it or another guy, and they ended up paying both of them, and they couldn't agree on the architecture, how it looked. So they, one person, built it their way on the top half, and if you look at the bottom half, it's slightly different, and it's because they both just settled with their differences a little bit and just kind of worked together, because they needed the money. They were forced to. See, there's a cat right there, just sitting on all that trash, hanging out. And see, there's so much trash over here. I'm heading back out, But yeah, so it's really historical around here, That's why I wanted to bring you guys through here. Plus, it's kind of on my way to Southfield, the expensive area, and I'm riding a bike. See how they're building farms, they're building organic farms, and people are farming here, and they're selling the crops. See how nice of a vehicle they got? And they're taking what's crazy is they're people don't understand what they're doing. Is they're taking the stuff, the food, and they're taking it back home, not only selling it, but, keeping it for themselves. It's giving them a job, and the property's so cheap. And they know that. That's why they're buying it up, and they're smart. They're being really smart. They're not paying anything for that property, and they're able to farm in the city. And they don't have to pay for their groceries. And then they don't have to have the garden on their property. If they live in the city, they might live up north. Who knows where that guy lives? Should go talk to him. But I gotta go. He looked busy anyways. There was a lot of grass. He was cutting grass. It's summer now, so he's getting everything ready to go plant, and every plants, some plants are annual, seasonal, you gotta replant them every year, and some plants, they grow back every year by themselves, like rose bushes, Rose bushes, they live forever. Not every plant does that, It's crazy. The Bible speaks a lot about that stuff, Jesus always used nature to talk about God, and it makes sense because God created it. He's in it, If God had to think of it to create it, we got to think about stuff to create the stuff we think about, right? Same thing. See, that tree caught on fire. I bet you the house was on fire. Caught the tree on fire. I've had to put out some big fires, man. It's not cool. At Ferris, Ferris, where I was working at when I came home, they got the shredder. It's the biggest shredder in the Michigan. Really, it's the biggest shredder in it's actually the biggest shredder in the tri-state area. Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Tennessee, even as far as Florida. They're carting up semis of shredded material, and all the cars that they shred up, and all the appliances that they shred up, they got to separate the metals, and identify them, and the one stuff that's really good money is called Zurich, and it's a kind of like a German term, German name, but that's the world name. That's just what they call it around the world, the industry name for it. And that's a lot of material that I was processing, if you think about it, man. I was sitting up in the tower, and those fires, it's crazy. I was sitting up in the tower, right? You sit up in the tower, and when they haul these trucks in, they got they're hot. The material's still like, you know, smoldering, you know. It's because it's going through a big, you know, thing that's grinding it up, you know. It's friction. And you know, the stuff catches on fire all the time on the trucks too when it's coming back. It's funny. But mostly in the pile. And you gotta watch it. And it's funny, they always smoke, you know. They're always smoldering. And but you know, the material I was processing, you know, millions of tons. You know, a ton is 2,000 pounds. You know, see how nice that house is? But a ton is 2,000 pounds, you know, and you know, metric weight, whatever, you know, whatever it is. You know, that's a lot. That's a lot. And you know, I'd even find money. It's funny, people, you know, got money stashed in the car. I'd find money going down the line, you know, and all types of stuff, you know, you find in there. Guns, all crazy shit. But you know, it's crazy to think about all that stuff, you know, that material. And I forgot I was gonna touch on. I do that a lot. Looking around, pay attention to other things. I don't care what people say though, whatever. It's not the point of the videos. Yeah, like, it's nice down there. Let's go down there and smoke a lot of pot. During the summer, the only thing that really bothers you is horseflies and mosquitoes. The horseflies, man, those bitches hurt. We got ticks too. We got ticks and fleas and shit, but it's mostly just mosquitoes. And like I said, during the summer, you get horseflies. I've never caught fish. I've never fished down there. I'm kind of crazy. It blows my mind that my family tells me they used to swim in there. It's a nice truck, Toyota Tacomas. So I worked at Michigan Imports, and when I quit Ferris and ran the place, you know, I helped run it. I mean, and you know, there was a family-ran place. Really enjoyed it because they let me use my computer knowledge and, you know, let me flourish, you know what I mean? Allowed me to run the place, you know, and clean it up, you know. They needed help. And I did. I cleaned up the place, you know, and I didn't, you know, I used everything that they had and they already had, you know, just laying around. So I wasn't spending any money, you know, and, you know, I was taking, you know, stuff, paint they already had and, like, fixing up the shelves. And, you know, they had millions of dollars worth of inventory, you know, for all the way from the 50s, you know, all the way to now, you know. I'm talking BMWs, Mercedes, Honda, Toyota, you know, Triumph, you know, you got all those Fiat, you know, he had... Bro, I'm telling you, there's so much stuff there there's so much, like, lights, like rear end lights, that they don't even have inventory, man. The stuff, like, it's not listed on the internet. It's not, they don't know they have it yet. They know they have it, but it's not been gone through or figured out exactly what it is, because a lot of tags fall off, or people mistag stuff, or, you know, they identify things wrong, or, you know, and that's why they hired me, because I was so, you know, I told them, you know, I quit a $100,000 job for an $80,000 job, you know, it didn't make any sense, but, it did for me, you know, and they couldn't pay me. I understood that they couldn't pay me as much as Ferris did, you know, and I was willing to take that loss, because I learned working at Ferris that you can't work to live, you know. You gotta, you know, you don't gotta live to work. I mean, you can't live to work. You gotta work to live, you know. It's just what it is, you know. And people, you know, they get so caught up and they you know, and they get told all the time they're not capable of doing this and that, and they kind of just stick by what they're comfortable with, or, you know, what the easy thing to do, and they end up missing out on their dreams, and it's terrible. That's why I'm shooting for mine. You know, I hate driving on this side of the road, like, because I can't see what's coming behind me. I don't like that. Like, I can hear most of the time, but, you know, people aren't paying attention anymore these days. They're always on their phone. I've been hit, so close to being hit so far. I'm telling you. That's another thing I've learned. I've kind of knew it. Living in my neighborhood, and stuff. Never walk in front of a car. Walk behind it. Ride behind it. Even, like, if they see you and you make eye contact with them, like, you know what I mean? Like I said, I always use my body language. For the most part, people see you, they shrug, or, they nod, or, that's, if they, most of the time, if they're a quick response, like they respond really quick, I know that person's, like, conscious, and the person's paying attention. I'm more comfortable with going in front of them. But most of the time, even then, I'm telling you, I've been in a situation, just go behind them if you can. I promise you. If you move and bike a lot and stuff, and you've seen the things I've seen, and, just go behind the car, I'm telling you. It makes sense. It just does. And I seen a video the other day too. Well, it was actually longer than the other day. I seen the other day, whatever, I seen it, and it said that the guy was talking about how in the old times the female, like, has to stay behind you. That's the best thing. And I don't know all about that, because cultures are different. People are, they believe different things, and they do different things in different cultures. And I'll tell you what I mean. Like, first of all, when I walk a margarita, I stand behind her. Why? I can see her. I can see what's in front of her. I can see what's behind her. I can protect her. I'm aware behind me. I'm looking behind me constantly. I'm listening behind me constantly, Therefore, that video I seen, it said that the woman, should be looking after you. And even the Bible says that, a woman is supposed to be helping man. But I don't believe that the woman should be behind you. That's just how I feel. It's my personal preference. And I've always stood behind my woman when I walk. Or, like, if we're on the road, if I'm walking down the road and she, we're going this way right here, I'm gonna have her on the right, for safety, for people coming down the road, right? And then, on the other side, flip it. That's just how I've always been. But Margarita, she got uncomfortable on one side, and I'm like, I get it, because I like holding my hands on one side and stuff. That's what I was thinking it was. And she told me that, no, that's not what it is. I was like, what is it, And she told me, and it makes sense, and I know people that, used to trick out women, but she said that if the girl's on the outside of the road, the girl's for sale in her neighborhood, in Mexico City. If the woman is not for sale, the woman's on the inside of the road, and that makes sense. That's a culture, and like it's really known in the culture, and it's not like that in America. Like, not, in a sense, like how I grew up, you know what I mean? Like, we knew the tricks, but, like, we got cars, and that's why. That's the reason why. We grew up in an era where everybody was able to own cars. It's more affordable, the roads are different, people in Mexico City, most of them walk. Most of them ride bikes, mopeds, you know what I mean? They have cars. Don't get me wrong, they have, cars, but, the roads are different, the culture's different, they're more for family oriented, they got, every year they got all those parades, and fireworks, and I want to go down there, man, experience it. You should see some of the stuff down there. It's crazy what they do, man. It's fucking nuts. I can't wait to go down there and share it with you guys. Margarita's gonna be excited, man, because she works so hard, and like she has her own YouTube channel that she's done stuff like skydiving, and she's made videos for her traveling, for her program. They make you make a video. She does, she's got video editing skills better than mine. My stuff's all like technical, that's why I need her. I need this woman, man. I don't just want her, I need her. It's the only way this is gonna work. That's the only way. I'm not on a small boat like that, you know what I mean? And only be sailing it myself around the world, and of course, when I have people come with us here and there, I'd love to bring someone with us every time. Not every time, of course me and my family are gonna go just by ourselves, but not every single time, I'd love to bring families with us. And, like I said, I'm gonna charter, I gotta make money. So, it'll help too, my boat, like I said, it's gonna be a floating lab, kinda. So, I'm hoping to run in people that are interested in the studies that I'm, at Full Sail University or, wherever I'm at, So I'll be in different countries, I'm not gonna be just at Full Sail. That's why I'm trying to get down Florida anyways, is when I graduate, I gotta be down there to get my diploma. Most of the schooling's online. But, and I was gonna drive the EcoBoost, my dad's driving now, and which me and him got into a fight, and I wanted to punch him so bad, man, because all the stuff, I wanted to talk about, he wouldn't talk about it, and it hurt. Like, I need to talk about this, like, why this happened, why you did this, because he's not my real father. He's not my biological father, and I consider him my real father. So, and certain things that happened with Margarita, and when we went up north, and I took out that loan, and so we could go enjoy it, and I wanted to shut the. You're retarded. Go around me. You don't have to honk. I seen you. Anyways, I wanted to propose to her, and that's another reason why I took out the one. My dad, kind of convinced me because, I wanted to go. I wanted to spend money on other things, and it was stupid. I mean, I'm happy I did it. I got a fiance. I got a woman that said yes, and amazing woman, and I'm going sailing because of it, and so there's a lot of good that, I'll stay on this side. Somebody looks like somebody pulled over. I want to get off of this though. See how it's all construction? I'm trying to cross. I gotta wait for traffic. So, yeah. But, yeah, it's. I don't know. I'm about to get off the phone though. It's already been 40 minutes. I need to cross. I'm about to just get off the phone and pay attention to cross. Be a good idea, wouldn't it? Plus, you guys already seen their area, the hood mostly. You guys already know what the hood's all about anyways. It's the same everywhere. But I'll get some more pictures of footage of Detroit some other time. But I'm gonna head to those trails where I'm headed. I'm hoping I can get some good footage of some tricks in today, maybe, That'd be cool. I feel like riding today. It said it was gonna rain, but then, the last video said it, within an hour or two, open weather said that it was clearing up, so, and it is. You can see the sunlight's coming out, so. I just wore some pants and my sweater, my dry fit underneath, so I take off my, my Champion camo that I found, which was fucking $60. Stupid. But I liked it, you know, I got it from Dunham's. So, anyways, yeah, man, here's 7 Mile. A lot of bullshit growing up here. Couldn't tell you all the dumb shit over here. Yeah, we're in the hood. A quarter of it. I'll let you guys go. Y'all have a good day. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.